Hello everyone, welcome to my official Monster Hunter Rise tier list for version 2.0 and Monster Hunter Rise in general. If you want to see my opinion on all the monsters in the game, then here it is. So let's just get into it. The first one is Aknasom. Aknasom is like, he's alright, like he's not too good or too bad. He's a solid like mid to low tier because like he doesn't do anything too exciting. He's just like your normal bird wyvern, but he's a pretty cool bird wyvern. So yeah, there you go. Then next, Almadron. Almadron, I would say A tier. It's pretty annoying after you've had to fight him a bunch of times. So yeah, he's a cool design. I like his lobster tail that he has and picks up with stuff. But he's like better Giratodus because like yeah, we'll get onto him later. But yeah. He is one of the best. I think he is the best mud monster in Monster Hunter in general, just because of how unique he is and how cool his design is. But in Rise, he's an A tier. So yeah, he's just a tiny bit annoying, so that's why he's not an S. All right, Anjanath. Anjanath. I think B tier, just because like he's a cool dinosaur. I really like dinosaur type monsters. Like Deviljho is amazing. But Anjanath, like, there's nothing too special about him. He's like, Anjanath is just, like, fire. Like, he's kind of basic monster. Alright, Arzuros. So Arzuros, I would say C with Aknasom because he's a returning monster. Basically, if the monster is higher than another monster in the same tier, it means I think they're better, but on a similar level. So, for example, I think that Aknasom is better than Arzuros, even though they're in the same tier. Alright, back to the video. I would say he's a little bit worse than Almadron because he was a turning monster, but his Apex is pretty sick, even though it kind of like is Red Helm. And yeah, he's just like a basic monster that you like to fight. Alright, next, Barioth. He's gonna go with Anjanath there, just because he's a cool monster, but there's just like better versions of him, like Nargacuga and Tigrex are just better Barioth. Barioth, worse Nargacuga and worse Tigrex. That's just true. His Frostfang subspecies is trash, by the way, in World. How you just make an ice monster more ice. That doesn't make any sense. Next, Barioth. Oh, hold on. I still think Barioth is better than Anjanath, though. And Barioth is better than Anjanath. Because he's like a better dinosaur than Anjanath. He's more unique. He has the mud mechanic. I like his like steam train like sound that he makes when he charges. He's just like kind of a funny monster. All right, Bizarrios. Sorry, I'm putting him in B tier. I think many people will like him better than me because like I'm a longsword main. I'm sorry, I know I just am. And Bizarrios is just horrible to fight as a longsword. You just bounce off of him all the time. It's really annoying. But besides that, I can respect that he's a cool monster. He has a bunch of cool mechanics with the sleep, the fire, and like the poison. So he's a good wyvern ride too because of his beam that he shoots out. Alright, next, Basil. I'm putting Basil above Almadron in A tier because he's really sick. He's like an airplane that drops bombs on you. He's the first invader in Rise, like the first actual invader. He is just really cool. He's really unique. He's more unique than any of the monsters in B or C tier. And yeah, I really like his abilities. Alright, next. Bishaten. Whatever. The funny monkey goes in A tier. I like his fruit mechanic. I like how you can throw fruit back at him. I wish they used the fruit mechanic a bit more though. If he had a weakness to his fruit and it did a bunch of damage or like paralyzed him or something, then it would be good, and if he was a bit harder. So if they do make harder monsters later in the game, I think he's going to be even better because of the way that you could just pick up his fruit and just throw it back at him. And he's a really unique monkey. So yeah, there we go. Right below Almadron in A tier. Next, Diablos. I'm putting Diablos in B tier because, you know, he's a classic monster. He has really cool mechanics in this game that he gets from Bloodbath that they just put in regular Diablos. So I think that's really sick. His rock attack is really cool. And yeah, he's just an all-around solid monster. Not amazing, not super unique, but he is just really good. Yeah. Okay, next, Goss Harag. Now this guy, I'm gonna put above even Almadron because he is so sick. Like, he could just make weapons, and I hope if they give him a subspecies, he can make different weapons. Like, imagine him having an ice like lance or an ice bowgun. Like, the opportunities for him are like endless. So yeah, that's why I think he is in A tier above Almadron. Alright, next, Great Baggy. I think Baggy is a D tier monster. He's the worst of the Raptor trio in this game because he just shoots sleep at you. He's not that unique. I get it that he's from older games and there may be like nostalgia or whatever, but he's just not very unique. Roggy is more unique and Izuchi is more unique than him. He just like, Roggy, you can see his sack on his mouth to show that, yeah, he's a poison monster. Izuchi has his tail, but Baggy is just like, oh, he has sleep, and he just looks like a normal raptor. So I really don't like him. Alright, next, Izuchi. I'm putting him right below Arzuros. They're kind of similar monsters. I like his tail mechanic, but it's just that like low tier monster that you don't care about. His armor's alright, but that's the only thing that he has going for him, really. Next, Roggy. I'm putting Roggy above Arzuros because, you know, I like his poison a lot more than Baggy or Izuchi, their main gimmicks. He's just more of a fun fight, and he has really cool armor too. Alright, Gyrototus, straight up F tier. There's no point for him being in this game with Almadron. Almadron is just better him in every single way. He's annoying, he doesn't have a unique design. I'd rather have Levisioth than him, because at least Levisioth was like the OG, the original. I hope a Nactor comes back though, because that would be really sick. But anyway, I just don't want to talk about him because it's a waste of time. He's just Gyrototus. Alright, Kezu. I'm putting Kezu below Bishaten in A tier. Kezu is just, he's so weird and funny. That's why I like him. That's why I like him. His armor and weapons are disgusting. That's so, like, it's just, he's the meme monster of Monster Hunter. So yeah, he deserves to go in A tier. Alright, Kuluyaku. I'm putting him above Gyrototus in F tier because he's just like a waste of space. Like, why? Why bring him back? And he's just not fun to fight at all. He's not hard, but he's just annoying. Like, why would you want to fight him? He really doesn't have that cool of any armor or tools or anything. So yeah, he's going with Gyrototus in F tier. Alright, Kushala. Kushala in this game, I would say, is a high B tier. He's alright, but he isn't great. He looks really cool, but his fight is alright. It's not as bad as some of the older generations. So yeah, he's just standard Elder Dragon, I think. Alright, Lagambi. Lagambi, I'm gonna say, is right here above Roggy because he's a cool bear monster, basically. And his snowball is alright. He's a good wyvern ride, and I just like how he slides around everywhere. Makes giant snowballs, but he's not that unique, so he's just going in C tier. Alright, Magnamalo. S tier. Straight up S tier. He is such a cool flagship. His Hellfire is really sick. There's not much bad about him. He borrows moves from some older monsters, but that just makes him even better with his Hellfire cloak. He has some really cool turf wars, especially with Teostra. So yeah, he's just an all-around really good monster. Alright, Mizu. I am putting Mizu in S tier also because Mizu is just like I said, a really solid monster. Like, the bubble mechanic is really cool, and I like how they just slip around everywhere. The armor's really cool, especially their long sword. Actually, edit. I have to move one of these guys, and I'm moving Basil in S tier because I think Basil's kind of on the level with Mizu. Cool ecology, that is really important too. All around really good monster. And Apex Mizu is really cool too. Alright, Nargacuga. I'm putting Narga right above Bishaten in A tier. Just because a really cool monster with, like, it has that panther aesthetic, but still borrows some stuff from like a bat and like has a beak or whatever. So it's unique, but not really too unique. It's just a solid, really good monster, but not perfect. That's where S tier is. Pookie Pookie. I'm putting Pookie above Barroth because a cool, like, he's a wacky monster, you know. He's not hard at all. His fight is really easy, but he's just funny. And that's it. Like, he's better than all the other monsters below him. I can say that for sure. That's why he's there. Rajang. Rajang is an S tier, straight up. Like, I think he's better than Mizu and Basil, honestly. Like, he's just a monkey that shoots laser beams and has lightning. Like, what else can you say? He is definitely the best monkey in Rise, even though Bishaten exists, and he's really cool. Like, you can tell he's a really powerful monster when you see him because he's just sleeping all the time, not really caring, and a really unique monster as well. Okay, Rachna Kadaki. I'm putting Rachna in A tier right here, with like top of A tier because really unique. Only the second monster of her type. I like when she goes on to the ceiling and like shoots a beam of fire all around and kills you. I think that's really sick. Has really unique moves, and yeah, all around really good monster. Not perfect though, so that's why it's an A tier. Rathalos. I'm putting Rathalos below Rachna. I would say Rathalos is below Rachna just because, like, iconic monster, you know, has some really cool mechanics specifically in this game. Oh, Apex Rathalos is really cool too, so that's why it's there. Rathian. I am putting Rathian below Pookie just because, like, she's just worse Rathalos. Like, I think everyone can agree with that. But it's just a really easy monster at the beginning of the game, so that's why Rathian is in B tier. Royal Ludroth. I would say he is above Aknasom in C tier. A standard Leviathan that doesn't really do much. He's alright. Like, no one really cares about him. No, he doesn't really have any cool weapons or armor, so yeah, straight C tier there. Somnicanth. I am putting Somnicanth below Barioth and B tier because it's alright. I like the design, so it's a cool, you know, just mid-tier monster. The sleep part is probably how it uses its sleep mechanics, but it doesn't really excel in anything and doesn't really stand out in many ways, so that's why it's going in B tier. Teostra. I'm putting above Rachna in A tier, you know, Supernova and everything. I like how it has 3 different stages opposed to the normal 2. It has the Blast, Normal, and Fire stage with all completely unique moves. I thought that was really cool. And yeah, it's just a really cool design with a lion head and a dragon body. Alright, Tetranodon. Straight up A tier. Or straight up S tier, because it's my favorite new monster in the game. Eats stuff and then slams you. How could you not like that? It has the platypus face, the turtle back. Everything about it is just really cool. It is kind of a lower tier monster, and his armor is like a tank. And yeah, everything about it is just really good. The only thing that brings it down a little bit is that it's a pretty easy monster. Thunder Serpent Narwa. I am putting it above Teo in A tier, just because, like, I think Ibushi's better. That's the only reason why it's going in A tier. Its moves are really cool, but it can get repetitive after a while. But the armor is really cool, and it's the base game's, one of the base game's Elder Dragons. So yeah, that's why it's going there. Tigrex. I am putting Tigrex there with Nargacuga. It's a little bit better than Nargacuga because I like how much personality it has. It has that T-Rex face. And yeah, it's just a little bit cooler, a little bit better than Nargacuga. So yeah, that's why it's going in A tier. Tobi Kadachi. I really don't like Tobi Kadachi. Like, it didn't have to go in the game. A bad monster that no one cares about after a little while. Its subspecies is pretty cool. I would like if that just got in the game and not regular Tobi Kadachi. Because, I don't know, it's just armor's kind of bad. It's not that fun to fight. It just kind of like, it's just a big Alright, Volvodon. I'm putting Volvodon in solid B tier, right above Barioth, just because it has that tongue, what that tongue do, like, its tongue is really cool. It's a really cool mechanic and separates it from the other bears. Yeah, and it's a really vibrant monster as well, and its face is really unique. It's just the most unique bear. That's why it's going in B tier. Alright, Ibushi. I'm putting Ibushi right below Rajang because it just like floats around everywhere and shoots wind. It's what Kushala wants to be. That is just facts. And I really hope we get to fight it outside the Rampage. I like the Rampage mechanic a lot, but sometimes it's just like, oh, I just want to hunt something. So yeah, there's not a whole lot wrong with it. So yeah, it's going in S tier. Zinogre. I'm putting Zinogre below Kezu. Actually, I'm moving Kezu up above Tigrex. So Zinogre can go right below Kezu and Tigrex and right above Tigrex. Zinogre is just a really cool monster, but the only thing I have to say with it is it's just kind of like a lot. It doesn't have, and it's not subtle at all in its design. Like Nargacuga, pretty subtle in its design. Gosrag, it's pretty toned down. But Zinogre is just like all over the place all the time, which makes it cool, but also makes it kind of a lot. So that's why I was going in A tier. Chameleos. Chameleos is honestly my favorite monster in Rise. I know it just got added, but he has so much personality. He looks so cool. I like how he steals your buffs in this game and use it to buff himself. All of his moves are sick. He can go invisible. The longsword is really cool. His armor is really cool. I'm rocking it as layered right now in my game. So yeah, Chameleos is just all around a really good monster. It has, I would say, no faults, except that it's a tiny bit easy. It is the easiest out of all the Elder Dragons that were added in the 2.0 update. I think personally the best monster in the game because of how much personality it has and how fun the fight is. The fight for Chameleos is super fun. Alright everyone, this is my Monster Hunter tier list. This is the real tier list. This is it.